What is up, everybody? We are back. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome back to Rant. Fill in the day that you're ever watching this because I'm coming to you special. I just left a preview and screening of a movie that I need to tell you about. If you're watching this, you already know what it is, but I'll give you a little backstory of how I got into Gran Turismo, the video game. But before we do that, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you everybody for putting up with us. And if you want to help us out, go to bootyhustlers.com where you see the back of the shirt. That's right, that's the R33, aka perfect sale, bootyhustlers.com, sizes up to 3X. But let's get into the movie review. Now, I know it's not Wednesday, but I needed to come to you now because I just saw the movie and it comes out literally next Friday. There's a lot of video game based movies that have come out in the last couple years. Super Mario, great movie. Silent Hill, great movie. Resident Evil, questionable here and there. Need for Speed, the movie was cool, but now we're here at Gran Turismo, the real life simulator. Now, I was introduced to this game back in 1998, I believe, 98, 99, around there. I got a Toys R Us demo disc, and on that demo disc, you got Blasto, Toomba, I believe Tekken 3, and then you got Tomb Raider 2, and then to top it off, it came with Gran Turismo. Now, I played a lot of racing games before this when I was a kid. All the Need for Speeds, all the Mario Karts, all the other, even the Mario Andretti game you got on Super Nintendo. But when I played this, it blew my mind and opened up my eyes to something I didn't know about, which were a lot of Japanese cars, a lot of European cars like Alfa Romeo, Opel, and then you got all the Nissans that we never knew about. When I saw Sylvia's K's and Sylvia Q's, I was like, what is this? This looks like my homie's mom's car. And when I saw stuff like Chasers, I was like, this is a funky looking Camry. And then it also introduced you a lot of prototype cars. If you remember back in the day, Dodge had a couple of prototype cars. But the cool thing about this movie is I didn't go into this movie expecting anything. Most movies, it's like, you know, oh my gosh, the buildup was so crazy. But it's kind of like I saw commercials splattered here and there. And it was cool to see how they made the movie into an actual story that is relatable to everyone. This guy, the dude from Stranger Things, the other guy from Pirates of the Caribbean, Amelia Hartford, and a sprinkle cast of, oh, don't forget the dude, I believe, from the first Guardians of the Galaxy. But he did a phenomenal job. And the way they tell the story is as such, is about a young man who plays video games. His father's like, bro, you need to do something with your life. And he's like, Dad, I want to be a race car driver. And he's like, you're never going to be a race car driver playing video games. But little does he know, this ain't just no ordinary game. It's Gran Turismo, the real life simulator. And the cool thing about this is the young man's logged so many hours that he's the best in his region. And then they offer the opportunity to have a driving contest. I don't want to spoil the movie for you guys, but I'll put it like that. Orlando Bloom plays a hyper energetic marketing guy who wants to get sim racers into real racing by having a competition where they place the best people with the fastest lap times from their region or their country into real cars. And then the dude from Stranger Things who plays the sheriff, he is the mechanical engineer and the whole track engineer of these fine specimens here. And what I like about this, they give him, his portrayal is like a realistic asshole. Like, bro, this is stupid. This shit ain't gonna work. These kids are gonna die. It's a counterbalance to Orlando Bloom's high energy to this dude's real life pessimism. Pessimistic? Yeah, I think I said it right. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. And what I liked about it was the young man himself who is competing in this gives a lot of heart and gives a lot of insight. It's like a kind of like a coming of age story, you can say. And like I said, I didn't go into this movie expecting a lot. And as I was watching the movie, I was like, this is pretty good. It doesn't give you a lot of hunky-dory backstory. It's pretty much, here's a kid, here's his dad believed in a dream, his dream failed, so he doesn't want to be a dream killer. He wants to be realistic and be like, listen, bro, I chased my dream, it didn't work out, I don't want to see the same thing happen to you and you end up where I am. But the cool way they twist that story is showing the real life events that happened to the young man who participated in the Gran Turismo real life driver search, and then it shows the events that happened to him while he was driving, who he had to go up against. And the cool thing was, it wasn't overly cheesy, but it wasn't like you're going to get Oscar winning performances. You ain't going to walk out like best new Oscar is going to be this guy, or you never know. But the cool thing was, it was like, it got straight to the point, and then you got sucked into the story. And the cool thing is, the movie wasn't even that long. It was like a smooth, I'm going to say like hour 30, hour 45, around there. It was just enough to keep you intrigued, enough action, enough storytelling, enough heartbreak, in a sense, like you feel for the character, you feel where his dad is coming from, and you feel where his mom's coming from, and you feel where he's coming from as a character. Every character in the movie is very understandable and relatable too. It's like you have the marketing guy who has a dream to bring the game to a higher level, to have higher respect for sim racers. Then you have the dude from Stranger Things who's realistic, like, yo, bro, this ain't it. Then you have the kid who's like, yo, I can do this. You got the dad who's like, nah, bruh, get a real job. And then you got the mom who's like, well, I believe in you, but at the same time, your dad is right. I don't want to crush your dreams, which can happen in a real life scenario. And I hate to say this, and I love to say this at the same time, it was a movie I thoroughly enjoyed. Like I said, the soundtrack, it was phenomenal for the action scenes in the movie, and it was really hard for me to mentally grasp what wasn't CGI and what was CGI. There's certain scenes where you're like, okay, cool, this is CGI. But then when they're racing on the track and you get that, like, and low-key gives you anxiety when you see the young man race it and you're like, yo, is he gonna win? Is he not gonna win? They really leave it up to you, and all in all, it was great. This movie better than Fast and the Furious. I'm gonna put it like the last 5 Fast and the Furiouses that came out, y'all could have put them straight to DVD. But this movie was something, it was like, yo, you kind of stepped up in the racing scene where you made driving in a video game realistic to driving in real life, and made everything make sense for a person who doesn't know about racing. So if you go into this movie, you'll have a sense of like, you kind of can walk out with a semi-technical aspect, because you're going to be hearing your friends say, why doesn't this work? Oh, because this, and this. And I'm like, listen, shut up, Bob. You watch Gran Turismo one time, you think you know about racing. But that's what proves the point of this. It's like, if you play this game and you log enough hours in Gran Turismo, the game, you can kind of, or more or less you could, feel what it's like to have a real race car. And the coolest thing about this movie is the young man who was portrayed in the movie. He was the stunt driver for himself in the movie, which is cool. So it's like life comes full circle. And this is what I tell you guys, as a person who played Gran Turismo as a youngling, looking up to these cars, and then now feel like my life is in a video game with everything that we do here. It's very like heartwarming to know that you can make it in something as long as you have a passion. Like, don't give up hope. People gonna knock you down, but the people who knock you down, use them as stepping stones to get where you want to go. And on that note, I'm gonna bring you back to a little, I don't know how I say this. If you watch Rant Wednesday, then you know what's about to be. Ladies and gentlemen, cue the music. On those Saturdays when kids go out and play, I was up in my room, I let the stereo play, wasn't faded, not jaded, just a kid with a pad and a pen and a big imagination. All this, I see, I find, push the envelope to the line, make it, break it, take it, until it's overrated. Boom, boom, ba-down, ba-da-ba-down, ba-da-boom, boom, ba-down, click, click, boom. That's for all my early 2000s babies out there. Just know that thank you to the creator of Gran Turismo. You were able to inspire us to eventually go to games like this. Until this day, Gran Turismo still made. You can't really top that. You can't really top that. Y'all have a beautiful night, beautiful evening, beautiful morning. And if you're in Canada this weekend, I'll see you. Montreal, Quebec. That's right. Montreal, Quebec. We out here, baby. We out here. Bureaucracy. See you there. Oh.